So if you're watching or anything, um, just want to assure you, I pretty sure I know what I'm on about, although I'm not an academic. I've been looking at this stuff long enough, so let's continue from there with a bunch of pics, and I'll just make my point. So the last video finished off with some nice rack there. Maybe I'll talk about that a bit. But the Salvator Mundi and the nuances in the artwork, the depictions of what's staring at us. So we're looking at two sides, and apparently this is up for debate now. Like in the scene, the main circles of the occult have been informed in the comments that representations, you gotta watch it. Like I said, there's the fine line, there's the nuanced, and you gotta know, it's not just at a glance, you gotta know like genetics, numerology, astrology, like optics, did I say mathematics? Maybe a little bit of mathematics. I mean, to tell you the truth, when I am looking at Da Vinci, there is numerology and such included in math, but it's not like it's the most complex math. The more ancient stuff, more ancient techniques, I'd have to say include way more math in various ways. So, Salvator Mundi, I guess, like, what is that name? Anyway, we're looking at some, like, it's in the two fingers up like that, like this is Christ's symbology. Definitely one finger we'd be looking at some John the Baptist kind of thing. That's the difference. Okay, so as I said, John the Baptist with Da Vinci is a movable, what do you call it, movable trait. I got rid of all my other one pointed, and maybe like as I discussed in this other piece that's mirrored here, the upward point. In the Last Supper, it's with closest you can probably get it is Thomas of the disciples, and on the side of Jesus is in the middle, even though the painting is in a divide. He still is a centerpiece, which speaks a lot to the eye, as we've been discussing. Yeah, it's interesting. Like there's a point there too. Like and the point refers to a point as a point, of course. And it all points. It does all point. Every little thing points to something. But in the end, you're like, yeah, you're looking up. You know, there's one source and stuff, one finger. So subtle differences. One finger up, two. So it's more. No matter who this depicts, Salvator Mundi, whatever. Like, hey, I look at this stuff, I like it, but I'm a simple dude. So I'm looking at the symbolism more than anything, I guess. When it comes to the rack, I don't know, there's a bit of a chest there, but the more you look into this fully old school artwork, you'll see a lot of feminine forms amongst the male species, and you can see that's why it is so. Like, the more research you do, but I'm not going to go into it there. Don't fall for the propaganda once again. Don't fall for the shadowy occult and like the easy interpretations, because as a lot of this stuff describes, like the ivory box and even Da Vinci's work, like it all mirrors each other. And so like Egypt, Da Vinci, whatever, like I said, it's we'll find it's the same language. I'll probably discuss it even more in this video. So yeah, maybe we'll go with that, even though I lost where I was at. But yeah, okay, so we'll go with the same language. I think that's what I pretty much wanted to cover in this. So, okay, Salvator Mundi, we're looking at this lazy eye, and I was describing why it was a very fine line, nuanced, specific. So we're going to call it didactic art. Like, very specific meaning, like, let's make no mistake. And it's not representing the right side either, like someone suggested in the last comment on the last video, and I fully agree with that. Like, there's something hidden or on the right side, but it's not specifically the right side of human awareness or perception. So we're going to look at what that is. We'll go to some Sumerian stuff, so if I can zoom out. So we're looking at like the GG plugging in through the back of the head, the cerebrum, surrounding the tree of life. And I'm hopefully gonna go quickly to, I think he's got the pine cone here, the bird thing. So I've discussed these as inorganic beings, helpers, like things from an inorganic realm or spiritual realm that plug in, and not only just through the cerebrum, like as in Carlos Castaneda describes, directly through the skin. Cool, dry skin is most appropriate, and it's basically, the DNA is like an antenna straight through DNA. If you want to detach from them, or something like similar negative getting hold of you or getting too close, like take a shower, take a bath, earth those energies out. We're dealing with something that's quite electric. So this separation originally looks like, you can see it in the birth of Horus, but you can also see it here. In certain ways, like I guess we're talking genetics here too, obviously, is what I've been talking about. This insertion in the genetic code would be to even more so connect with these things that are in the non-physical realms as a power source, and a shortcut around thinking, and an easier mechanism. So basically, black eye on one side as it evolves into. So once again, and you can see, go to a better picture that describes this even. So you can see those same creatures that are plugging into the physical, mortal, human-like beings are surrounding some sort of tree of life, helix, some sort of genetic representation in nearly floral form. So examples. I've discussed in other videos here. You can see like the two faces, the one and the witch-like face behind it, and you can see here there's definite split. So these things aren't there for no reason, because you can see on the other side they're unified and whole. So I keep talking about two different sides in these ancient depictions and how Da Vinci mimics it. In the Last Supper there are also two sides with definite differences and containing certain traits. So yeah, this is a remnant, like it's kind of like when it comes to Da Vinci's work, it's just so heretical on all levels, if you know what I mean, and even to the trained eye this might seem like even heresy, even what I'm talking about, because like it's basically saying if there was a bloodline that continued, what is in human DNA, what we've got to work with is gonna create this. Like the image, the appearance is Christ-like, but when you look at the consciousness within, got to be careful. And I've described this, and I've taken examples even from nature. When it comes to camouflage and things like that, plants and animals and the relationships, and it's the same with human relationships. It goes on to beyond human perception, systems that are happening. Yeah, and I could bring up even the ivory box, like when it comes to yin and yang, like that symbolism is contained in that, and it's like a few thousand years before it appeared in even Asia. And there's a lot, maybe even the metric system is like even in there a few thousand years before it even appeared. And that ivory box is like a fair bit of occult symbolism, and it's not just restricted to one region. So yeah, like I don't know, like magical Egypt style. If you want to look at like the biology of the brain, I've done videos of that. You probably don't know what you're looking at there. It's trigeminal nerve. If you look at certain stances in the occult art, what's that female character in ancient Sumer, Ishtar or something? It's one of the stances, but it's all over. It's in South America. I can bring that up. Maybe this one's better. It's more Egyptian. So that's what I'm kind of being getting at as well. Like the headdresses, the relationship to the head and the brain, biology, consciousness, and like I've been talking, might not really consider it, but genetics do have functions in your awareness. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say for part 2. Don't know where part 3 will take us. leave it till another time.